What's up, folks? Today I bring you a game that brought me back to the great memories of Jaws. Well, at least for a little bit. This is ManEater, dedicated to having dumb and very bloody fun, but does it bring more to the table than that? Is it right to call this game a shark PG? As usual, if you like this video, why not subscribe? And if you would prefer an audio-only version, the link will be below. I will also be giving away a copy of this game on whichever system you prefer. Just comment below and you'll be entered. Is ManEater worth the $40 price tag? Well, I'm about to tell you. My name is Tanner, and this is For Your Money, a different kind of review. ManEater is an interesting take on story. Though lackluster, still a neat way of telling it. A camera crew for the show ManEater follows a shark hunter named Scaly Pete on his journey to find the mega shark. A shark that had been extinct for millions of years, yet he claims it's very real and has caused him great distress. On top of that, he's also hunting for you, the shark that took his arm while he was branding you after he killed your mother. It's a shark game, folks. I mean, the story is rather dull, and considering the fact the story revolves around your shark evolving, meaning you'll have to do so-called story missions that are extremely repetitive and have no consequence to the story. But I'll go over that in the gameplay section. As for the characters, you don't exactly get a whole lot of depth. At times, you think you're about to, but then it goes absolutely nowhere. The gameplay of ManEater is a love-hate relationship. First, the combat is going to come off as whack, so let's dive there first. The combat consists of few attacks. Biting and tail whipping will be your main attacks, as those can also be combined. If you have something in your mouth, you can shoot it at an enemy or an object just by tail whipping. Alongside those is ramming, which is very good for boats and jet skis. You also have a dodge that will become necessary to dodge humans locking onto you with guns, as well as other predators trying to grab you in between their jaws. Along with these, you have customizations on your shark, such as fin, tail, head, and body, as well as organs. All of these are basically perks that enhance attacks or give them special effects. For example, if you have the electric body, you will have an aurora of electricity around you that does radius damage when you attack. And lastly, you have a special ability that allows you to deal and take more damage. This will become more useful as you level up and the enemies become tougher. The main objective in this game is to level up and evolve. Leveling up doesn't exactly do anything for you other than help you advance to the next area and evolve. As for evolving, the only reasons you do that is 1, so you can bust through gates, and 2, to advance the story furthermore. That's it. Now with that out of the way, why will the combat seem whack at first? This game doesn't have a lock-on button. You'll attack your prey a few times and then you and that prey will get separated. And in order to get refocused back on the enemy, you'll have to press a button that locks on for a split second just to get them back in your field of view. You're going to do this a lot during a battle, and honestly, at first it will seem frustrating, but it'll grow on you. For me, I had to realize that I'm a shark. This is not a Dragon Ball Z game where I can lock onto them and now we're in an arena battle. When you're injured, you will need to eat something. 9 times out of 10, that something is going to be a fish. And luckily, when you encounter a boss fight, the areas are littered with big fish for you to consume. But be quick, because depending on your level and how big the fish is, you're going to have to thrash it with your jaws or keep biting it to eat it. All while a huge predator is trying to eat you. As for the combat, I loved it, because once you nail it, you'll be able to do cool shit flawlessly, like biting bombs and tail whipping them at people, or slamming on the boats and grabbing someone off the deck. My favorite part of this game was the exploration. Each ecosystem looks distinctly different, from muddy and murky water filled with trash and radioactive waste, to a deep blue gulf that's filled with corals, rock structures, and shipwrecks. Now with exploring, you'll also find points of interest. This could be anything from dumping sites for bodies to a UFO. And when you find them, sometimes it'll be an Easter egg or the narrator will make a reference. For the UFO, it was a Rick and Morty reference to the Gazorpazorps. I also found Pennywise in the sewers. So case in point, exploring is a reward in itself. When exploring, you're obviously going to care about the shark's movement. All in all, the shark movement is smooth. You will come across frame drops, not too often, but you will notice them immediately when it happens. Your shark is agile, and it can practically swim under or through most structures in your way, like piers or under sunken boats. I mean, with how many caves and sewers you're going to explore throughout the game, the shark's movement had to feel good. Now let's talk about the worst part of the gameplay, and that is the story missions. This game works similar to how Mafia 3 worked, but worse. When you get to an area, you'll have a checklist of things you need to do. The missions they give you consist of killing 10 to 15 fish or humans, as well as a hunted animal multiple times in one area. There was one point in this game where I had to kill 10 hammerhead sharks on 4 separate occasions in one area. Now this really affects the fun factor of the game, because if you're trying to beat this game first and explore later, then you're going to get burnt out on it, and I promise you're not going to come back and explore. You'll consider this game one and done and move on. That's why exploring is so important. It's a distraction from the bland missions. Another issue with the missions is when you eat humans, you often have to go on land to eat them. Sure, going on a beach is fine, but when it comes to you going on docks and roads, it becomes irritating and it overstays its welcome. It wouldn't be bad if this happened every so often, but most of the time you have to consume people, they're going to be on land. When I say dock or road, I mean you're jumping around on a pier eating people, and same goes for the road. The problem with this is you often run out of air way too fast, and you're trying to kill an enemy, but a barrier won't let you get to them, and now you gotta get in the water and climb your way back up to the road or the dock. It gets infuriating. I was hoping for a bit more Jaws-like mission structures, but we didn't get that. The design for ManEater is interesting. As you can see, the game has cartoon-like graphics. It even rubs off in the gameplay with comic book effects coming out of your character when eating something. And seeing how bloody they wanted the game, it matched nicely. You'll notice some small details, like when you bite something, it'll leave a blood cloud trailing behind it in the water. This really does look good for the most part. There are a couple times where you'll see an island or two that look like proof of a Matrix, but other than that, the graphics are great. The design of the sharks were probably a focal point for the devs because it's awesome. Depending on which pieces you equipped and how much they're upgraded details what your shark's going to look like. If it's the bone style, then you're going to have bones growing out of you and your shark will appear pale. With every piece is a different look. The sound is one spot they really nailed down from the start of the game. This game is narrated by Chris Parnell, the voice actor for Jerry from Rick and Morty or Cyril from Archer, and he does a phenomenal job. While in the ocean, you'll hear sounds of the fish that seem to echo, the boats sound muffled underwater and normal above water. I mean, this sound is really impressive, guys. So here's some clips of the overall design.
We wasn't close. He was a shark hunter, that's all he was. If anybody were gonna catch the mega, it'd be him. Thought it was a government experiment, got himself loose. Boy, he wanted that shark. Wanted it bad. Found it once. Didn't catch it, no.
What happened to your father?
Huh?
What happened?
Look, I ain't got time to answer questions all day. Got work to do.
The solitary hunter stumbles upon another source of nourishment. I would like to assure the Antolini crime family that this footage will in no way be used in the final edit of our program.
ManEater knows what it wants to be, and it tries its hardest, but it falls a little short with its repetition and dull story. ManEater sells for $40, and I'm comfortable saying it's worth $25. This game is fun when it comes to eating things and exploring while listening to the narrator spit facts about sharks and oceans, but they could have done more with the story. Maybe playable flashbacks as to why Pete hates sharks so much or something along those lines. Either way, it was a phenomenal game and experience. I just wish we could have had a little bit more depth in the story as well as the missions in the game. That's all I got, folks. If you enjoyed this, why not subscribe? If you did not like it, hit that thumbs down. Till next time, fellas.